we have a serious problem in the United States with communicating our ideas in a written form or in a verbal form, frankly. Either way, it is so impossible for many people, including college-educated people, young kids, in their young 20s, who should be able to communicate straightforward in a clear and understandable way. They cannot do that. They cannot do that. They cannot summarize their thoughts. They cannot put their thoughts into writing or into speech in any kind of coherent form. And it's been striking me. I see it everywhere, but you see it in particular when we do these written discussions online. They do these written discussions, okay? They give you a prompt. The teacher gives you a prompt, and each student has to provide some kind of written summary, some kind of short. It's not even an essay. To call it an essay is kind of an insult to essays. There's no citing, there's no sources, there's no research really needed. You need to read the prompt, maybe read one article or one assignment, one topic that the teacher, gives you, and then from there you go. You start writing. So here's an example of one student. I'm not going to say their name, obviously. There's a whole bunch of errors all throughout where it's things from grammatical errors, spelling errors, weird sentence structure, like they're taking some kind of off-the-cuff brainstorm that they did and just immediately putting it right onto paper, with no edits, no checking of their punctuation, of their grammar, of the word choice. It's just straight from their smooth-brained minds into smooth paper and nothing in between. So it's like, all right. So, for example, let's see. This one student talks about, they go, when they're supporting such a negative issue. Okay. They say we're talking about big tech, manufacturing, like Microsoft, Google, companies like that are large tech companies, Apple, producing goods, obviously consumer goods, but they also usually tend to have big contracts with the DoD, the U.S. military, and the U.S. government at large. And we'll have a student write something like this. It brings questionable values regarding the company to its audience. It's being it's a conjunction between it and is in her mind, even though that it's is just its. The it's that she wants is the its, it's possessive, not the it's conjunction between it and is, which is what she wrote. So she says, the company to its audience. So it brings questionable values regarding the company to its audience. When they are supporting, who is they? This is classic, like high school English, missed pronouns, where the pronouns are being used in an ambiguous way. Is she talking about they being the audience or they being the company? And then you infer it from the sentence, but you're taught never to write this in an ambiguous way. You're supposed to be clear about what you're saying. You're not supposed to say, it brings questionable values regarding the company to its audience when they are supporting such a negative issue, such as warfare. Excessive use of words. There's no need to use two suches in that one clause. Totally unnecessary. And yeah, still, even there, it's ambiguous whether she's talking about the company or the audience. And that's just one sentence. Then we move on. It comprises the view of the company when they are willing to use their technological advances to promote new methods of killing and inhumane actions. Alright, fair enough. At least she didn't use any crazy punctuation. It, that she starts the sentences off with, is a little ambiguous, but alright. Then just the next sentence. On the flip side, there are also implications if they do not partner with the government, they being the company, I assume. Not only can it be seen as unpatriotic to not support our own government, but now she's talking in first person, well, first person plural being our own government. So she says, not only can it be seen as unpatriotic to not support our own government, comma, it may also be viewed as restricting our troops to greater advantages and saving our own heroes' lives. Heroes being singular hero with an apostrophe S, when that should be a plural heroes, because she's talking about military troops. She just said troops. She's obviously talking about a plural, and yet she uses the singular possessive hero apostrophe S. And then she even says lives. So she knows she's talking about a plural thing. She's talking about a plural entity, the troops. And yet she uses heroes, singular. Ridiculous. This person's retarded. They don't know how to write. This is a native English speaker. A native English speaker, a college-educated senior. And they do not know how to write a paragraph. Here's the next sentence. The next sentence is great. Take the case of Dow Chemical as a great example. I mean, okay, I guess you can accept it. Fine. I mean, it's technically correct, but it sounds clunky. It just sounds like it's having to do extra work. Take the case of Dow Chemical as a great example. Those two statements, take the case and as a great example, are fine statements on their own. But she took two, generic statements that you usually start sentences off with and joined them together because she's like, why not? Let's have more. More! We want more! So she goes, she could have said, take the case of Dow Chemical, period. But no. Or she could have said, as a great example, or Dow Chemical is a great example. So, take the case of Dow Chemical, that's good, or Dow Chemical is a great example. Two fine sentences. But no, she had to put them all together because she has no ability to summarize and choose which phrase she actually wants to use. She just wants to use them all because they all sound good. Newsflash, they don't all sound good together. Take the case of Dow Chemical as a great example. It's too much. It's just too much. Just say, the case of Dow Chemical is a great example. Something like that. Obviously, this person does not write much. The next sentence, although the majority of their company, we gotta get through this. Although the majority of their company involved, oh my god, I remember this one. This one's the worst. Although the majority of their company involved the sales of household products, comma. What does that mean? Although the majority of their company? You mean although the majority of their sales were in household products or were of household products? That's what she tried to say. But she didn't. She had to use the word company. For some reason. Totally unnecessary. Although the majority of their company involved the sales of household products. What the fuck does that mean? Comma. With the questionable chemical contributing only 0.5% of their total sales, napalm was sold to our government to assist troops during the Vietnam War. At least the rest of that was alright. The rest of that seemed to go down without a hitch. Then she said,